Desde que llegamos.
It's not very easy for the bus to drive on, so this is why it's better for us to take the Jerusalem road or to go to Jericho through the Israeli side. Of course, this is a checkpoint for the Israeli border police. They are checking cars randomly. Sometimes they stop cars, sometimes they don't. Sometimes they stop buses, sometimes they don't. So we hope that they don't stop us, they don't check, so it will be faster for us to go or to get to Jericho. We are good with the timing until now. And thank you for following my instructions. I appreciate it. This makes my job easier, and this also helps you visit or see more and spend more time at some other places. For example, the end of the day at the Dead Sea. Yes, the less you stay at some places, the more time you Palestinian citizens. Of course, the cities, or what we call them as Palestinians, the settlements where they live in the West Bank are like gated communities. Palestinians are not allowed to enter to them. So they just live in these communities. They can exit through the West Bank, but not through Palestinian cities, because the West Bank is divided into three areas: Area A, Area B, and Area C. And these Israelis, to be more specific, Israeli Jews, are not allowed, according to the Israeli law, to enter Palestinian cities or Area A of the West Bank, which is fully under Palestinian Authority control. Now, an Israeli Jew is our driver here, Guy, but he is allowed to enter to Palestinian cities because of his profession. He has a special permit from his agency that allows him to come here, insurance that covers him and all of that, but a regular Israeli Jew is not allowed to go to Area A of the West Bank, which is the Palestinian cities of the West Bank. Yes, sir. That's a nice question. There are even more. I don't know which the statistics from which year that you read about, but from what I know, there is around 500,000 Israeli Jews living in the West Bank at these cities that Palestinians call settlements in the West Bank. We will see an example on the way, by the way. When we exit back to the West Bank, we will see a big Israeli settlement that we call Ma'ale Adumim in the West Bank, and it's actually one of the biggest settlements in the West Bank. It has around 50,000 inhabitants, Israeli Jews, 50,000 living in it. That will be one example we will be seeing on the way, on the road. And of course, the lands where these settlements are built are lands in the West Bank. And you know, the West Bank was this part of the country that became under the Israeli control in the year 1967. And according to international law, all these lands from the year 1967 should be returned back to the Palestinian Authority or to the Palestinians. And a settlement like that is not only illegal, considered illegal to Palestinians, but under international law, according to the UN, these settlements are also illegal. So it's not Palestinians who only say that these are illegal, but also the UN. That's also a very nice question about the universities of the West Bank. Actually, the West Bank has a lot of good universities in it. Like, for example, Bethlehem City or Bethlehem District has 3 very good universities, and the oldest one is Bethlehem University, where I studied. And it's a university that belongs to the church, to the Brothers of La Salle. In Ramallah City, there is a very good university called Bir Zayt University, where you can study medicine, engineering, law, all of that. If you go to Jenin City, which is like it's actually, Jenin City is actually the last Palestinian city in the north of the West Bank before entering again to the Israeli side. And Jenin City has a very good university called the American University. There are many universities around the West Bank where you can go to and study anything that you want. Bethlehem has 3 good hospitals, private and public. A lot of also schools, private and public schools. Some of them belong to the church, some of them belong to the government. Basket of the West Bank. Agriculture is very good here. Look around you, it's a desert, right? But there's a lot of underground water here and a lot of springs that provide the city with water, which is mostly used for agriculture. And that is the city of Jericho in front of us. You can see it's a big city. The size of the city is big, but the population is not really high. Around 30,000 inhabitants is the population of Jericho. And look at this sign to the right here saying, there was this sign saying that you will be entering a Palestinian area under Palestinian Authority control, and entry for Israelis is prohibited and against Israeli law. So just by crossing this roundabout, we will be entering Area A, which is fully under Palestinian Authority control in the West Bank. It's like Bethlehem here. Bethlehem is fully under Palestinian Authority control, and Jericho also the same. The city of Jericho is an ancient city. Actually, one of the names of Jericho is the oldest city in the world. The oldest city in the world. Why is that? because according to some ruins that were found at this archaeological site called Tel El-Sultan, they found ruins of a walled fortified city here with surveillance towers, and people who were living inside this walled city were living as farmers, raising animals and practicing agriculture. When all people, all human beings around Earth at that time were living like animals in the wilderness, hunting and collecting to live.
Mamaya bakit sa kanya? Hindi na masakyan. Mas masabakay. Sa kapit.
Yes, the ruins that they found date back to around the year 8000 BC. 8000 BC, which is 10,000 years back from now. That's why one of the names of Jericho is the oldest city in the world, for that reason. Another name of the names of Jericho is the City of the Moon. City of the Moon. What or where does that name come from? Actually, Jericho was mentioned in the Bible, right? In the Old Testament, in the story about the Israelites with the leadership of Joshua entering the land of Canaan, and the first Canaanite village or city they found on their way was a village called Jericho. Jericho, as a Canaanite village, or the Canaanites that were living in Jericho, worshipped various gods, not one god. The Canaanite tribe that was living in Jericho was worshipping the god of the moon, whose name was Yerah. This is where the name comes from, Yerah, Jericho, and then in Arabic we call it Ariha. In Hebrew it's called Jericho, and then in Hebrew, it's called Jericho, and then in English it's called Jericho. They all come from the same origin. So this is why it's called the City of the Moon, because they were worshipping the god of the moon at this place. Famous for its dates, watermelons, oranges, grapefruit, pomelos, zucchinis, eggplants, cucumbers, and many other fruits and vegetables.
Jericho.
And I forgot to mention one fruit, bananas. Look to your left, the bananas. There's also cauliflower. Jericho is known for its warm temperatures, and I'm sure once you get off the bus you will notice immediately that Jericho is much warmer than Bethlehem. You will see many churches in Jericho.
Kabsa.
Of course, Jericho was not only mentioned in the Old Testament. Jericho was mentioned again in the New Testament in many stories. One of them was when Jesus was passing through Jericho, and that's where he met Zacchaeus, the tax collector. On the way out from Jericho, I will show you a sycamore tree, which reminds us of the story, or this story that I'm telling you. Jesus meeting Zacchaeus, the tax collector, in Jericho. And in Jericho, after lunch, we will be visiting a historical and a holy site, Christian holy site, that is called the Monastery of Temptation on the Mount of Temptation, the place where Jesus was tempted by the devil when he was fasting 40 days and 40 nights in the desert. And of course, after visiting the Mount of Temptation, when we exit Jericho, we will be heading directly to the Jordan River, to the baptism site, the place where Jesus was baptized by John the Baptist also. So Jericho is a very important city when we talk about the cities of the West Bank, for its religious significance, for its history, and of course because of its location at the border with Jordan. Of course, we will be stopping in 5 minutes for lunch. Time doesn't allow us to go to a restaurant where you can get a menu and start ordering whatever comes to your mind. This takes like forever.
Mary. Agárrate. Suéltame, suéltame. Espérate. No quiero ir, no quiero ir, no quiero ir nada. Agárrate. Agárrate de adelante. Abre los ojos. Vamos. No lo muevas, déjame bajar, quiero que se calle. Venga, venga. Ay, no quiero, mi corazón me duele, Diego, dile que me baje, hombre. Que me siento asustada. Ay, mi mamá. Ay, hijo. Bájeme. Ay, no, Jesús Santísimo Padre. Ay, por eso es que se montó un burro. Ay, no. Ay, mamá.
Mama, look. Kapit kayo.
Slowly. Yay!
Kapit kayo. Upo mo yan.
Bravo, mama. One, two. Oh, God.
Yay! Very good. Oh, dinadiktahan na. Nagustuhan na. Yan mo na. Go, 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 go.
Ikaw lang.
She like it. Ang galing ng marketing strategy nito ah. Bakit ang short kasi ng distance?
The name Sammy.
Ha?
This Sammy.
Sabi?
Sammy.
Okay. Sammy, be careful. Sammy.
Lumiyad ka. Pagkantulin. Doon, pabaliktad.
Ay, pinalatan niya. Oh, very good, Sammy. Good luck here. Tayo tatlo na. Ay, bibigyan niya na. Mag-ano na, dito. Mount of nagnanakaw ng tubig.